Okay, good morning, everybody. Those who are there, quickly I'll take the attendance and then we start with the class, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Where were we, like what we were doing yesterday? Children?
Started the new chapter.
We started the new chapter, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Good morning,
Good morning, Tanishka. How are you?
ma'am. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Enjoying the weather? Foggy, foggy, dripping as well. Okay. Mm, attendance. Aryan Gupta. Aryan Gupta is there in the class?
Ma'am, I think Ma'am Aryan Gupta is there.
Haan, but
Yes, ma'am.
good morning. Can you keep the cameras on?
मैम डबल आवाज आ रही है आपकी
डबल आवाज आ रही है?
No, ma'am.
अभी
हम कह रहे हैं
आ रही थी
अच्छा, वो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
अब ठीक है अब ठीक है
हाँ, चलो कैमराज ऑन कर लो थोड़ी देर के लिए सब लोग।
अब मैं कंबल के अंदर हूँ कुछ दिखेगा ही नहीं
तो बेटा ये पढ़ाई कर रहे हो मजाक कर रहे हो? सिर्फ इतना बता दो। हैं?
मैम बहुत ठंड है
अरे कम ऑन, स्कूल भी तो आते थे बेटा। आते थे कि नहीं आते थे बताओ?
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम
गुड मॉर्निंग पार्थ। आर्यन गुप्ता, भव्या, आर यू देयर बच्चे?
प्रेजेंट मैम
गुड मॉर्निंग।
गुड मॉर्निंग मैम
शो मी योर लवली फेस। भव्या? Okay. Then we have, yes, that's it.
मैम हैव यू मार्क्ड मी प्रेजेंट
नहीं बच्चे, आई एम टेकिंग अटेंडेंस।
ओके मैम
हाँ, ऋषभ, ऋषभ, आर यू देयर?
Present, ma'am. Present, ma'am.
Okay. Then we have Kumar Parth.
प्रेजेंट मैम
Then we have Sharad.
Present, ma'am.
Then we have Siddhi.
प्रेजेंट मैम
Then we have Siddhant. Siddhant, are you?
मैम
Yes, very good. And we have Tanishka as well.
यस
Okay. And yes, Raj Raghuvanshi, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We are total 10 participants, 9 students and 1 teacher, right? And we'll take
Yes, ma'am.
as others will come in. First of all, tell me, do you have any problem regarding the art integrated project that has been assigned to you people?
नो मैम नो मैम
Sure, because ma'am,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
got a message from ma'am that some of the students of class 8, they are still very confused about the art integrated project.
नो मैम
Okay, fine. Fine. So yesterday we completed one chapter and we started the another chapter.
यस मैम चैप्टर 7
That is marginalization, right?
यस मैम
Okay. Tell me what exactly we did in that.
Ma'am, we have completed the ma'am that script or ma'am story which is on first
Okay, comic
page,
strip.
and ma'am we have
Okay.
to yes ma'am we have to start reading.
We have to start the reading part. Understanding marginalization, we have to read from here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So what we will do, we will have Aryan with us. Aryan? Aryan, are you there? This is really not well. Aryan, are you there? Yes, Raj Raghuvanshi? Yes, Raj Raghuvanshi?
Yes, ma'am.
Beta, can you read Understanding Marginalization, page 290, first paragraph?
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, please wait, ma'am. Searching book.
Okay, okay, okay.
Ma'am, can I?
Let him read, let him read.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, open to 90 page. Ma'am, which?
Ah. Understanding Marginalization, left hand side, first paragraph. As you read in the preceding comics.
Ma'am, as you read in the preceding comic strip, widows are referred to as a marginalized group. What does it mean to be marginalized? To be marginalized means to push someone to the margins or periphery of the
Periphery,
society.
beta periphery. It is
Ma'am,
marginalized,
periphery
is
or
marginalized. Wait.
or
The word
periphery.
is, beta, word is marginalized.
Okay, ma'am.
Pronounce it marginalized.
Ma'am, marginalized.
Yes. And the second word is margins.
Ma'am,
Margins.
margins.
Or,
Ma'am,
or periphery.
ma'am,
Periphery.
periphery. Ma'am,
हाँ,
periphery
periphery.
of the society.
पेरिफेरी का मतलब होता है,
Marginalized.
लिसन लिसन लिसन, पेरिफेरी का मतलब होता है आउटर एज ऑफ एन एरिया, ठीक है, आउटर एज ऑफ एन एरिया, ठीक है,
Okay, ma'am.
कैरी ऑन.
Ma'am, marginalization therefore refers to the social process of becoming or being made marginal.
Yes, yes.
In
Siddharth,
simple words,
do it.
it means
Stop
not
playing,
being
Siddharth.
accepted by the
What are you doing?
society at large and being devoid
Ma'am,
of
I am asking you
of
which
any
is the page
meaningful
number.
Okay.
parti- participation in the society. Marginalized people are pushed towards the margins of the society and even denied access to certain basic rights.
Hmm.
They are made to believe that they are unworthy of being a part of the society. The practice of
Apartheid.
apartheid,
अपार्थीड है बेटा, ये अपार्थीड.
apartheid,
What is apartheid, you know?
apartheid.
What is apartheid, you know?
No, ma'am.
बेटा अपार्थीड एक प्रैक्टिस थी जिसमें कि काले और गोले, अमेरिकन ने जब साउथ अफ्रीका पे रूल करा था तो उन्होंने अपार्थीड को फॉलो करा था. ब्लैक्स और व्हाइट्स में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करते थे, ठीक है.
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ, रेशियल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की पॉलिसी होती है अपार्थीड. चलिए, कैरी ऑन.
Ma'am, the practice of apartheid condition of women across the world till the 20th
सेंचुरी.
century, denial of labor rights to people with disabilities, treatment meted out to aged people are all examples of how many people are marginalized.
How people are marginalized. कैसे लोगों को किराना कर दिया जाता है, जैसे जो औरतें होती हैं या जो फिजिकली डिसेबल्ड लोग होते हैं या वो लोग जिनके अंदर कोई डिसेबिलिटी होती है उनको काम करने का अधिकार नहीं दिया जाता है, या जो उम्र दराज लोग होते हैं उनको जो है उनकी उम्र के वजह से जो है उनको एक किनारे पे कर दिया जाता है। जैसे आपने देखा होगा घरों में बहुत फैमिलीज में ऐसा होता है, जो
Yes,
बड़े
ma'am.
बूढ़े होते हैं घर के, उनको एक कोने में बैठा दिया जाता है, कहते हैं आप यहीं बैठो, आपको सब कुछ यहीं मिलेगा, आपको घर के मामले में इंटरफेयर करने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो ये चीज मार्जिनलाइजेशन ही होती है। भाई वो भी तो घर का हिस्सा है, उन्होंने आपको पाल पोस के बड़ा करा, तो उनको भी तो पूरी फैमिली में इन्वॉल्व होने का पूरा पूरा राइट है। सिर्फ इसलिए कि वो बूढ़े हो गए हैं या अब वो आपको कमा के नहीं दे पा रहे हैं या फिजिकली आपकी कुछ हेल्प नहीं कर पा रहे हैं बहुत ज्यादा, तो वो बेकार हो गए, ऐसा नहीं होता है। ठीक है, इज इट क्लियर क्लास?
Yes, ma'am.
फाइन,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
कैरी ऑन कैरी ऑन।
ma'am. In the context of the Indian society, we find that for centuries, the rights of some groups of people have been pushed to the periphery and have been denied means or opportunity for participation in the society at large. They form the bulk of the marginalized people in the form of scheduled caste, SC, scheduled tribes, ST, other backward classes, OBC,
माइनॉरिटी, माइनॉरिटी।
minority, and women. The process of marginalization
बेटा वो
has
जी है,
kept
बेटा
these
बेटा
people.
बेटा बेटा
Yes,
उसको
ma'am.
ग नहीं, उसको आप ग नहीं पढ़ोगे, उसको जी पढ़ोगे। मार्जिनलाइजेशन है, मार्जिन ग नहीं पढ़ोगे उसको, ठीक है, जी है वो। दोबारा बोलो,
Marginalization.
हाँ दोबारा बोलो,
Marginalization.
दोबारा बोलो।
Ma'am, marginalization.
मार्जिनलाइजेशन,
Marginalization.
लाइजेशन, वेरी गुड। चलिए कैरी ऑन।
Ma'am, has kept these people backward and illiterate. Lack of access to representation, resources, and facilities like education, health, and jobs created a situation of mar-
मार्जिनलिटी,
marginali- mar-
मार्जिनलिटी,
marg-
मार्जिनलिटी,
marginality for them.
वेरी गुड,
When people are
मार्जिनलाइज,
marginalized,
वेरी गुड।
there is a need for social justice in these respect. Our constitution has played a significant role, which we will
सिग्निफिकेंट
discuss in
बेटा,
next.
सिग्निफिकेंट
And
सिग्निफिकेंट
significant.
होता है, ठीक है, सिग्निफिकेंट होता है, सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं होता है।
Okay.
चलिए ठीक है, इतना हो गया। एनीथिंग टू बी एक्सप्लेन्ड इन दिस, प्लीज टेल क्लास, इन
Yes,
दिस एनीथिंग टू बी एक्सप्लेन्ड? हम्म,
No, ma'am.
no.
okay. See, in this, they are simply telling you that what exactly is marginalization. Marginalization is a process where people, some people, a group of people, they are outcasted, or they are, sent to sit aside, or they are made to sit aside. They are not involved in anything, right? So in these two, both the paragraphs, they have actually told you that how in world, how people are marginalized, like the practice of apartheid that was practiced by, practiced in South Africa by the Americans when America had made South Africa the colony. At that time, apartheid was followed, and for many years, this kind of racial discrimination, apartheid is basically racial discrimination, which was practiced by many people for quite a long time. आज की डेट में भी अगर आप देखो, there are people those who discriminate people on the basis of their skin color. ठीक है, बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो कहते हैं कि भाई हमें काले लोग पसंद नहीं है या हमें गोरे लोग बहुत पसंद है। तो दिस इज ऑल डिस्क्रिमिनेशन ओनली, दिस इज ऑल क्रिएटिंग मार्जिन्स, मेकिंग मार्जिन्स फॉर पीपल, segregating them, discriminating them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So they are in these two paragraphs, they have simply made you understand what exactly is marginalization and how it is practiced in the society, also in the families, also in the communities, also in the institutions, also everywhere. Everywhere these kind of segregations or this kind of discrimination is followed, right?
Yes,
Right.
ma'am.
ठीक है, चलिए. Now marginalized communities. Marginalized communities. Who will read? Tanishka, you will read?
Yes, ma'am.
चलिए, पढ़ो.
Marginalized communities. The process of marginalization involves over a period of time. Let us probe how this process created some marginalized sections in the Indian society. Scheduled castes. The biggest form of social inequality in India is the caste system. The system had its origin in the four varnas or social divisions of ancient times. The social divisions was based on occupation and was fourfold, comprising the Brahmins or the priest teacher, the Kshatriyas or the warrior class, the Vaishyas or the merchants, and the Shudras or those who engaged in other jobs. Over a period of time, these varnas came to denote caste. The caste gradually became hereditary and gave rise to an inflexible caste system. In this new social arrangement, the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas acquired the status of upper caste. The Vaishyas came in the middle, and the Shudras were relegated to the lowest rung of the society. The caste system thus divided the society into upper and lower caste. People were strictly forbidden from changing their caste, and rigid rules came up. As a result, the caste system became a tool for creating social inequality. The upper caste began to exploit the lower caste. The lower caste were denied basic facilities like education, health, and change of profession. They were subjected to all kinds of insults and were forced to take up menial jobs. The lower castes were considered as polluting and were treated as untouchables because of the nature of their jobs. They were not allowed to enter temples along with other castes or participate in social functions or social gatherings of the upper caste people. There were other forms of discrimination in the form of forcing them to live on the
Outskirts of village.
outskirts of the village,
Village. Like
not
yesterday.
allowing
Wait,
them.
wait, wait, wait. Yesterday I talked about this living in the outskirts, yeah, on the edges. These people, the scheduled caste, those who were there because of the in the Vedic period, the kind of segregation that was done, and slowly which became a rigid caste practice. These people were forced to live on the margins. They were not allowed to live along with the other people. They were told to live in separate areas. This because of this provision that was made, they were completely deprived of from the basic facilities that were given to the other people in the other members in the society. Chalo, carry on, beta.
Not allowing them to draw drinking water from the village wells and forbidding them from changing their occupations. Thus, they remained outcast and economically weak. After independence, it was realized that caste system had created great disparity in the society. Keeping this in mind, the constitution abolished untouchability and gave special privileges to the people of lower caste. It recognized this marginalized group as scheduled castes.
Anything in
Women.
this to be explained? Very good. Anything in this to be explained? Class?
No, ma'am.
All clear and understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine, fine. Very good. Very good. Chaliye. Siddhi,
Yes, ma'am.
read for me.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Women. Women who enjoyed equal status as men in the old times because victims of social discrimination. In earlier times, women had participated freely in the political sphere and enjoyed a respectable position in the family and society. But over the centuries, their rights diminished. They were pushed out of social representation and confined to their households. Their right to property and inheritance was taken
Inheritance.
away.
Inheritance.
Inheritance was taken away. Social customs like parda and dowry were created, which undermined the position of women. The birth of a daughter came to be seen as an unfavorable event. The women, like the Shudras, were denied access to education and subjected to humiliation. Freedom of choice in matters of marriage or finance was denied to women. In many communities, widow remarriage was outcast who were not allowed to participate in the family or social functions. The continuous denial of the rights to women,
Continuous denial.
continuous denial of rights to women, lack to education, and creation of superstitions to reinforce their low social status kept the women in shackles for centuries.
Hmm.
Scheduled tribes.
Wait. Anything in
India,
this to be explained? Wait. Anything in this to be explained?
No, ma'am.
It is all clear and understood, no?
Yes.
Like, very good. ठीक है. Now, scheduled tribes. Rishabh will read this, okay, Rishabh? And
Ma'am,
next is
can
Bhavya.
I?
Ha,
Okay,
yes.
ma'am.
Rishabh only. I said Rishabh will read.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Scheduled tribes. India, in its vast diversity, is home to a number of tribal societies. These tribal people are known as Adivasis, which literally means those who have inhabited an area since time immemorial. In other words, they are the original inhabitants of an area, especially the forest areas. A number of tribes in the states of Jharkhand, Odisha, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh, West Bengal, and in the northeast and in the northeastern states of Nagaland, Mizoram, Manipur, Tripura, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, and Assam. These groups of people have their own customs, culture, and are not dedicated by the caste system of the
Dictated.
mainstream society. In
Beta
this sense,
dictated. Rishabh, dictated.
oh,
Dedicated पढ़ा आपने उसको वो है
okay, ma'am.
dictated. हाँ. कोई नहीं, no problems. हाँ, पढ़ो.
Dictated by the caste system of the mainstream society. In this sense, they are very different. Historically, tribal societies were respected for their in-depth knowledge of the forest and its resources and were left alone by the kings and empires. But this changes during the British rule in
This
India.
changed.
For
This changed.
yes, ma'am. But this changed during the British rule in India. Forest areas inhabited by the tribals were taken over by the British government for mining or industries, leaving them homeless. The displaced tribal were forced to enter the mainstream society, which did not accept them readily, as their customs, language, rituals, and religious beliefs varied greatly from there. Lacking education and socially acceptable mannerism, they were co- they were
Consider
considered the
a
they were
misfit in the
considered
a misfit.
a misfit in the society, and hence were pushed towards the lower end of the social order. They were employed as cheap labor in plantation, at construction sites, or in local industries. Thus, they came to be socially and economically exploited. After independence, the Indian Constitution recognized these peoples as scheduled
Scheduled
tribes
tribe.
and
Special
made
provision.
spe- and ma- and made special provision for them, about which you will read in the next chapter.
Fine. Scheduled caste, women, and scheduled tribes all are clear and understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Anything in this that is to be explained, class?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No,
Bhavya?
ma'am.
Bhavya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ पढ़ो बेटा.
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Minorities. Minority community refers to a group of people who are numerically
Right.
less in a country or an area and are therefore
Vulnerable.
vulnerable.
Hmm.
The chance of marginalizing such people is very high. The majority, because of its numerical strength, can dominate or deprive these groups of people from accessing basic facilities. In a country like India, where a number of minority communities live, it was felt that there should be adequate provisions in the constitution to avoid situations of dominance by the majority. The Indian constitution has made provisions to allow different religions to pursue, preserve, and protect their culture, language, and script. This has been achieved through the cultural and educational right and right to freedom of religion that are enshrined
Enshrined
in our and
constitution.
enshrined in
Enshrined.
our constitution.
Hmm.
Effects of marginalization. The process of marginalization brings about social as well as economic inequalities.
Hmm.
Social inequalities. The social inequalities can be seen in these forms. Education. Centuries of denial to education has resulted in large scale illiteracy amongst the marginalized sections, which does not help in uplifting their status.
Okay, wait,
Lack
wait,
of choice.
wait, wait, Bhavya, wait, wait. Anything in this minorities part to be explained, class?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Um,
Let us have
no,
Vanshraj.
ma'am.
Let us have Vanshraj reading for us. Okay, Vanshraj? Vanshraj, are you there? सिद्धांत पढ़ेंगे आप?
Yes, ma'am.
चलो आप पढ़ो.
Lack of choices, the marginalized people such as the scheduled caste or Dalits were denied not only the freedom of choice in their profession, but were also barred from
Barred,
dining with
barred, barred. बेटा barred. BARRED. रोका गया. हाँ.
or marrying people beyond their own caste.
Hmm.
Access to healthcare.
Access to. हाँ.
Marginalized groups rarely have access to the healthcare system. Poverty, illiteracy makes them vulnerable to severe health problems as a
Severe,
result.
severe, severe health problem. Severe.
To severe health problem. As a result, it is found that infant mortality rate, mental illness, malnutrition, and disability is very high amongst these groups. Economic equalities. The social equalities translate into economic equalities, poverty. The
Hmm.
low social status of the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes subjected them to high poverty, illiteracy, malnutrition, and landlessness. Other marginalized,
Landlessness. Landlessness. भूमिहीन जिसको हम
land,
बोलते हैं भूमिहीन.
yes, ma'am.
हाँ.
Landlessness.
Hmm.
Other marginalized sections of the society, like women, especially the widows and minorities, also suffer from poverty due to lack of facilities for them, lack of economic opportunities. The marginalized sections, such as scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and women, lacked equal job opportunities due to their low social
Low
caste,
social status. Low social status.
low social status.
Hmm.
Marginalization threat, threatens not only the physical but also the mental well being of those affected by it, as these groups of people face constant dominance by others. Their self esteem is diluted and then consider themselves as inferior to others. To correct the wrong done to them, the Indian Constitution took some bold initiatives that are discussed in the next chapter. Ma'am, we can recaps. We can
हाँ recapitulation भी करो.
recap.
हाँ
Ma'am,
recapitulation भी करो.
recaps. Marginalization is social exclusion of people. Second, the scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, women, and minorities form the bulk of marginalized group. Third, the caste system was responsible for marginalization of the scheduled caste. Fourth point, the British rule and non-acceptance of tribal group into mainstream society resulted in their marginalization.
Position, very good.
For
पार्थ एक मिनट बेटा ये
fifth
खत्म
point,
कर ले फिर सुनते हैं है ना. हाँ बोलो बोलो कैरी ऑन सिद्धार्थ.
marginalization results in social and economic equalities, which can be seen in the form of poverty, illiteracy, access to health service, lack of choices, and economic opportunities.
फाइन. यस पार्थ आप कुछ पूछना चाह रहे हो.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I want to ask something.
Yes,
Ma'am,
ask.
ma'am, on 90s time, after the constitution made everyone get equality to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and all the which are caste. So, ma'am, do you face any, ma'am, restriction that, ma'am, you can't go here, you can't, ma'am, like, ma'am, yesterday I asked ma'am about the, ma'am, girls that
हाँ
you
हाँ हाँ
told the story. So, ma'am,
हाँ.
on that time, you face any problem like, ma'am, you can't do this, ma'am, you can't go there for those people, ma'am, like this?
No, why will I? Like I see, being a girl, of course, I was told not to do certain things, but not by my parents, but by others. So
Yes, ma'am.
this kind of discrimination, of course, it was there. Like in
Yes,
within my,
ma'am.
within my uh, what do I say? Like within my friend circle only, there were many, many of my friends were there. Those who, practiced this, like those who were diehard believers of this caste system. So they never made friends with those who did not belong to their particular caste. So this was something which I
Yes,
did not
ma'am.
appreciate of. So these kind of
Yes,
practices,
ma'am.
because see, I never practiced all these things because in my family these things were not given weightage. But
Yes, ma'am.
in families where these kind of where weightage is given to such practices, there of course even the children adapt the same thing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
There have been
Yes,
incidents,
ma'am.
not in my, like, not personally I am talking about, but I have seen in the society, in the places where I have lived, the areas where I have lived, or the squad, the institutions where I have studied and where I have worked. I have met many people, those who were into the practices of this caste discrimination. Like I
Yes,
have seen
ma'am.
many families, where the utensils for the maids are kept separate, and
Yes,
where
ma'am.
where this kind of discrimination is practiced. So this is something which I really don't appreciate. See, I feel a
Yes, ma'am.
human being is a human being. See, whether in of a high caste or a low caste, that is completely upon, because that was destiny. The child was born in that particular family, that is why this caste part was there. But if you see, we all are alike. There is no discrimination, only the skin color may be different, the hair texture may be different, the hair thing may be different. Otherwise, if you see, everybody is same. We all have fingers, we all have nose, we all have eyes. Deformities which we have, that is a different thing. Otherwise, we are given birth as a normal human being. No discrimination is practiced by, even by the one who gives us birth. So why as
Yes,
human
ma'am.
we are practicing these kind of practices? I fail to understand. I really don't believe in all these things, and I don't want to even,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't even tell my children also to have these practices. I have seen in my,
No, ma'am, actually, yes,
Mhm.
ma'am. But ma'am, actually, ma'am, ma'am, in this century or ma'am, in this time, ma'am,
Mhm.
people didn't believe any, ma'am, caste and all. But ma'am,
Mhm.
I was just asking that, ma'am, if any incident you face, like, ma'am, don't go there, they are of low caste and
Ha,
like
like I
that.
told you, no, I told you, my granny,
Yes, ma'am.
my nani, my dadi, these people, because they were from, quite, they were from a time when, they had also practiced, they were also facing these problems. So when I grew up, when I used to go to my granny's houses, I used to, I was told not to go to a particular area, not to go to a particular place. And when I used to question them, they were like, because they don't belong to our caste, they are lower caste people. So this was something which I never
Yes, ma'am.
appreciated of, and I never believed in these
Yes,
practices
ma'am.
as well. I never discriminated
Yes,
among
ma'am.
my friends. I never discriminated among people whom I, came in contact with. I never did. I never practiced such practices, because I am
Yes,
from
ma'am.
from a background where, these kind of practices are never thought of, even thought of. We are
Yes,
given
ma'am.
complete freedom to think, to, to practice the, to follow the way we think,
Yes, ma'am.
right? But yes, there are
Yes, ma'am.
many families where people, where children are told not to go for a particular thing, not to talk to people who don't belong to their same caste. There are parents, those who are into these kind of practices, but we don't say bad to them, because we know that they were brought up in such an environment where they perforce, they are, they are forced to follow these practices. Maybe the
Yes,
elder
ma'am.
members of the family, they don't approve of, a general behavior with everyone. Maybe this kind of segregation they have been practicing, they have made their children also practice about this, and now their coming generation will also pick up the same things from them. So these kind of practices, they are of, what I personally